what were some of the bigger nutritional changes that you made when you were first getting started? Because I mean, some people think that they eat healthy, but until they really get into the thick of it, then they understand, oh my God, I'm actually not eating that healthy.
Yeah, the way I look at it, I'm not really the specialist in fitness. So when I'm at the gym, I like just do what I think and it like works, but it's not what I specialize in or have heaps of knowledge on or like know what to do naturally. I kind of just see what other people do. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea for exercise. Or I do like the same effective movements over and over that just work for me. But nutrition was the hugest change for me because I 3 years ago, I went plant-based, and then I loved it so much that I quit my corporate job. I already got a degree in hotel management and then worked in the industry in a five-star hotel for 2 years, and then quit my job to do holistic nutrition, so that's my actual career now. But I think one of the reasons why I stay in shape so easily is because I just eat well naturally, and I love cooking. I love going to the supermarket and planning out my meals for the week, and, like, I just love eating. So I just think if you can just eat healthy and, like, eat with the meals that I make, then you can eat as much as you want. You never have to go hungry. I don't track my macros or calories or ever go hungry. I just eat as much as I want, but because it's all the right kind of nourishing foods, I just feel that like my body knows what to do with it. So it's about like taking the fear away from food and like yeah, like learning what kind of foods make you feel good. But yeah, nutrition is definitely huge. And during COVID as well, I definitely fell off the bandwagon and like I hate home workouts. I would just do like 5 squats outside and then be like, "Oh," and then go and sit down. And like I just couldn't do it. But because my diet was still there, like it wasn't that much change, or it just wasn't like as shredded and as muscly, but I didn't like really put on weight as such. Mm.
What would you say is probably one big myth or misconception that people have about the plant-based diet? Because I mean, we hear a lot of excuses for people when it comes to maybe not becoming, either vegetarian or doing a plant-based thing.
Yeah, it's I think like people think that you're gonna die. Like when my mum found out, because I just do a 90% approach. I feel like that works best for me. And it's been 3 years of like figuring out whether do I go like full vegan or still keep some things in. And I know that salmon makes me feel really good, but I think it's because of my hormones and because the rest of my food is really lean, the fat feels really good. And also when I wasn't eating eggs when I lived in the city, I think also because of the toxins in the air, I did experience like a lot of brain fog and like couldn't concentrate and felt like quite washed out in my face. But also I was in the city living a very busy lifestyle. And then once I moved out to the farm, we have our own chicken. So I just have like, yeah, salmon and eggs are probably the only thing I still have. And it makes me feel a bit more like fuller and have a bit more color in my face and I can concentrate a lot better. So it like each individual will differ. So I never tell people that they've got to go like 100% or that you have to have salmon and eggs because some people don't need it. But it's about like finding the individual like balance for yourself. But definitely, like people think that you're gonna lose all your muscle, but I got musclier after I started and then like lost extra fat because the food was way less calorie dense and you could eat more, like have huger plates for way less calories. And also there's like no fat, like there's no saturated fat like you would get in meat. So you're just eating like tempeh, tofu, or I'll buy like veggie patties and have like beans, legumes, and like mock chicken that's made from soy protein and stuff. So it's definitely still easy to get it in, but you're not going to lose your gains from
Well, I love
having
that
it.
answer too because so many people, you know, think that you have to go, like 100% plant-based or you have to go 100% with any type of diet where it's like, no, you don't have to. I mean, you can still enjoy other aspects of a diet. So I love that. Were you always like that or did it take a certain while where you're like, "Oh my God, I miss salmon and eggs," or what was that
Yeah.
process?
For the first, yeah, it's been 3 years as well for plant-based diet. For the first year, I still ate one meat meal a month. So if I'd go to a restaurant, I'd allow myself a treat and then just like enjoy it. And then eventually my taste buds just changed. So I just didn't crave it anymore. And then it felt like I find meat and like cheese just very salty for me compared to plant-based food. So it's a bit intense. And then yeah, it was only last year in the city. I was like, oh, I watched these documentaries and I was like, okay, I think I want to give up fish as well because you feel bad. I'm like, why do I value one life over another? It should be all equal. Like I shouldn't. Yeah, it's like a argument in your brain. So I tried giving it up, and then went to the supermarket like think it depended on my cycle because depending on the month, like I want just avocado, chocolate, and salmon all together for some reason. And I went to the supermarket and I was like, oh, I need salmon, and I spent like $16 or something on one piece because I was like freaking out and like my body just like needed it. So after I went through that, I was like, there's no point trying to like ignore your cravings because your body wants something from it, whether it's the fat or the protein or some kind of vitamin or something. So I always think over everything, it's most important to listen to your body and just like do the best you can and not beat yourself up for it. Yeah.
That is one thing that so many people also struggle with, is just beating themselves up with. I'm not gonna lie, I've had nights where, I might have ate a little bit too much, and the next morning I'm like, oh my god, I gotta punish myself basically to make sure that that doesn't happen again. But it's like, no, just realize that you're human. You're gonna slip up. You're gonna make mistakes. But one thing that goes along also with this healthy and fit lifestyle is just the mental change too that occurs. I mean, so many people just focus on the physical change because it's the change that people can see. The mental change, I think, is vastly more important, and it has such a larger impact. How would you think that, or how do you think you yourself mentally have adapted to this new lifestyle and have changed maybe for the better?
I feel like I definitely realized that after Corona, we didn't go into lockdown like crazily where we were. Like we could still go out and stuff. It wasn't as strict as other countries, but like we couldn't go to the gym or anything. And I really noticed like your self discipline in other areas of your life. And when I wasn't going to the gym, like when you're exercising, you start to just naturally crave healthy food because your body wants like lots of greens and salads and veggies and like lean protein and stuff. And then when you're not going, you like I started to feel like way more like not so healthy carbs and then like way more like fat and like chips and stuff and chocolate. So you started to like yeah, crave unhealthy food. And then I just got like so messy. Like my room was messy all the time. I couldn't be bothered like doing the dishes. I couldn't be bothered picking things up, like going to bed late. And I feel like when you've got your self control in the gym and you're like eating healthy, the other areas of your life are way more structured. So I've only just realized that myself, but also I think you feel a lot more like grounded and down to earth when you're looking after yourself, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, oh, I mean, I cannot tell you how the mental mindset has changed when you first start working out as opposed to, just being, well, yeah, I even did the quarantine thing too, where I didn't work out for almost a month when quarantine started, just because I was like, I had zero motivation to do it. And, so I can totally, and then for even that first day coming back, we are like, yeah, I need to, not have that milkshake that I was thinking about having tonight, or I need to, maybe McDonald's can wait a week, and I'll have it next week or something like that. But yeah, it's a whole different change of mind. And yeah, even on like I was talking about, the 4 days that I haven't done any cardio, I've only worked out once in those 4 days. And yeah, even tonight, like even as I'm talking to you, I'm like, God, I want to get like a Gatorade or something like that. But so, yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that is just so true.